What is going on, guys? My name is Ty, and I have Collier with me, and we are the Weekends Warrior Disc podcast. Welcome again to our episode today. We're going to be going through breakdown of my 3 disc tournament challenge that I actually did this past weekend. Very spontaneous moment. We're also going to talk about my newer series that I'm kind of going to unravel tonight. Don't want to talk too much about it, but I definitely will hit some basics of it. We're going to be talking about Kyle's potential new series and what he's going to be doing, what his style content creating, which is going to be super cool. And also, we will just talk about whatever else. Rodney's not currently here right now. She is editing and catching up on some beautiful edits. So it's just going to be us two today, kind of an old school style pod. So hopefully that's okay. But before we do anything, we got some housekeeping stuff that we have to do, which is our sponsor, Reed, from Gravity Disc Golf. So Gravity Disc Golf exists to exceed your out-of-this-world expectation with unparalleled custom design, disc, and apparel. Gravity is creating an atmosphere where disc golfers can enjoy every aspect of disc golf while blasting off with space-themed design, no matter what you throw. Gravity has designs on almost every manufacturer and can make your game look great. They offer free shipping on orders over $75, and John includes a nice note to each customer. Make sure to check them out at gravitydiscgolf.com to complete your bag. And let me tell you, it is out of this world. Also, just a heads up, holiday season is coming up. So definitely go check on Gravity Disc Golf, see what they have for you. They have apparels, they have cool bags, they have signature disc that was dropped for Alden Harris. They have just their normal custom stamps. Definitely check them out. I'm sure they'll probably do some holiday specials. They might do a mystery box. I'm not sure yet. We haven't talked to John yet, but we'll see what they have in store for the holiday season. Definitely Black Friday is coming up, near, obviously the day after Thanksgiving. So they probably will do a online sale as well. Not sure. We'll find out. But other than that, make sure you go to gravitydiscgolf.com, use code KG10 or Ty DG10 to get off 10% off your next order. Other than that, Kyle, what is going on?
It's another day, another week, another day. Plenty of disc golf to talk about, as you said. You had a,
Yes,
you know, a pop-up tournament that you decided to do. I
because
have
as you
some.
see, do you see my background? I did not move.
Exactly. You have some stuff, so you were able to do play.
Yeah.
Of course, I have a tournament coming up this weekend. I'm helping run, and
Oh, yeah.
yep, that I will be involved with and compete in as well. So I'll have
Heck
one
yeah.
more tournament under my belt. On two newer courses around, they're 9 holes, but we're going to play the holes twice.
Nice.
So it'll
Is
be
it
the full
sanctioned?
18. Yes, it is.
Nice.
So yeah, so I'm excited about
Mine,
that.
it was not. Mine was a
As you
Fonzie.
teased about funsies, yes, but funsies are always fun too. I play more funsies than I do sanctions, so it's
That's
all good.
understandable.
Yeah, yes, yes, and of course we have content stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
You dropped a video as well. So while we do talk about your funsie tournament, if you do want to have a better understanding of how the course layout is set up, especially from the reds, it's a pitch and putt course,
Mm-hmm.
as in the red tees. There are, as you stated in your practice video, there's also white tees, which is intermediate, and blue tees, I
Blue
believe.
tees, yes, which are the
Blue tees,
pro. They call
which
them
are the
pro
pro.
tees, which they're very technical, and
Mm,
I think besides 1 and 2 and maybe 9
okay.
pros, the rest of them are roughly 370, 380 up. There's a lot of 400s shots, like high,
Technical too.
yeah, high 300s for par threes. And then I think the 10, I forgot, I think it's like 420 or 430, but it's one of those like massive like tunnel shots, woods, very Anheuser like line. So, but yeah, definitely. That's what I love about this course is they have 3 different options. very beginner friendly. Before we get into it, I got the opportunity to actually talk to the guy who
Mhm.
course designed it. His name is Larry. Um, Finally got to meet him. I've seen him on Facebook, of course, in the groups that I'm part of and stuff like that. But finally, I got to play. Basically, what they had was it's called the Bayfest Challenge. So in that community disc golf course where that is actually in a community, which is called Hammock Bay in Freeport, Florida. And so what they do during the fall is they have a fall like festival in a way where they bring you know, because it's a small tight knit community there. So like the high school band comes in, they have some like live artists that will do music and stuff like that, or other bands in general. A ton of food trucks, ton of just games and activities and blow ups for the kids and stuff like that. And so what Larry decided to do was to try to grow, disc golf community. He called all the disc golfers and he's like, hey, why don't we do a 3 disc challenge, all from the Reds tees? So that's how anybody that's at this event, if they want to sign up, there's disc for them to play with, and they could be a part of, learning disc golf. But also they made a pop up little quick pitch and putt, like 5 hole in the baseball field. And so him and we went out there right when I got there. It was because we did it where you were able to sign like up tee times. So
Mhm.
my tee time wasn't later because I came in solo. So I just kind of jumped on a card with like 4 other people, which was is totally fine. I don't have issues with it because I mean, like,
Right.
to me, I'm in tournament mode, so like I don't really know anybody anyways. So I'm okay with it. But I had the opportunity to actually go and do the little pop-up thing just to warm him up, but also just talk to him. We did it like a couple times just together, and just getting to like know him and just know the community finally. And um which is really cool because super friendly, very like outgoing, super welcoming, to the point where I really want to get more involved. I'm actually now in their group thread, which was really cool. They were super accepting with me. I got to meet a lot of the other people and part of it, which was really cool to experience. And kind of dissected, which I might try to get him to get involved, potentially jump on here for the podcast because he has a lot to talk about. But I
Mhm.
thought one of the coolest things was, before we get into anything, was uh, his. I forgot what year this was existed when it actually opened up, but really at the earlier years, his wife would take because she used to be like a, I don't want to say nanny, but she used to
Mhm.
like watch kids or babysit kids. Um, and the kids, they would take she'll take them to the just out into the park, and they would always be interested in playing disc golf, but obviously the whites were a little too far for them. And so she went back to her husband, Larry, and was just like, hey, like, we need something that's a little more beginner friendly. He's like, you're 100% right. We need to. And so the wife actually created the red tees. So she designed it with him, and they created the red course for the Chain Dragons, and which it was so cool. And just like there's like really cool like backstory of how she created each one, and the significance on each one and stuff like that. So it was just really cool getting the insight of technically what I call my home course. Down here. So it was really cool to
Mhm.
get more history behind it because I was always curious. And then I met the guy, which I didn't even mention this, but I met the guy that I don't know if you were there recently. I forgot how long ago you've been here, but were you here with when the metal dragon Mando sign was up?
Uh, is that the
Like hold
whole?
like 6 or 7. Like it's a metal dragon for like Mando left.
I'm not. I don't recall. I remember there was a Mando.
I'll point it out. I'll send
Yeah.
a photo or something like that to you or whatever. But he was the one that actually made the sign, and so like I got
Oh,
to
okay,
meet like a
cool.
lot of the people that like have put in some good voluntary. He just did that for the sake of his heart. He's like, I just want to make a cool dragon sign for the Mando, and he just did it. So it was really
Hmm.
cool. But yeah, just it was really cool getting the whole history and background, and just it made me love the place even more. And it felt very welcome because like I obviously most of my content is from that course now. So it was really cool to really experience the community side of it actually. So
Which is always a good thing. It's always nice seeing the other side of it compared to, that there's always the two sides, just go and enjoying disc golf
mm,
every weekend or during the week, whatever you want to do, whatever you have time for. And then there's also the side that you put things together, organize things and everything else. So it was always cool to witness and experience both sides. I
yeah,
love both sides of it. So I am glad you were able to do that as well.
100%.
Yeah, how many you were seemed like you did pretty good. Like I said, it's pitch and
Mhm.
putt, but solid finish.
Yes.
Um, shot a 9 down,
Hmm.
but it looks like you had two bogeys, two and
I
three.
Yeah, I did.
What happened there?
I gotta talk about that. So definitely if you guys haven't watched it yet, please go onto my YouTube
Hmm.
channel and watch the practice one. I kind of do a breakdown, but also I want you to watch 2 and 3 because in the practice round I birdied 2 and I technically parred 3. But I could have bogey or I could have birdied 3 if I did the Luna, which I did, but I'll talk more about that actually. And yeah. So hold 2. Uh I I don't know why, but obviously I stuck with my hex like I did in the practice round. And so obviously in the practice round I like legit like parked it. For a second I thought I did an ace run, but I parked it. But this one though on the actual one, I don't know what happened, but I released late. I wouldn't say too much of a group lock because it obviously didn't go far right. I just released late, and it just would not turn over. It just kept going
Hmm.
right, and it got into the furthest side into the thick brush. And
Mm.
luckily it went out of the brush, but I was definitely like almost on third uh hole three's fairway.
Yeah, because hole two they changed it a little bit, right? Because they're doing construction.
Well, it's still the same. It's still the exact
It's just
same
all
spot.
open at
It's
the
just
start.
all open because it's
Mhm.
which I did confirm I was right. They are making pickleball courses. And
Mm.
I did confirmed as well with him that they are going to move it. So those predictions that I said in the practice holes
Mm.
or in the practice round, I was 100% right on both of them. So they're probably most likely he said they may try to focus on just moving hole 2, but most likely they're going to have to move 1, 2, and 3, which is going to be very interesting because to me the course is very tight to begin with. So I don't even know
Right.
where they're going to do 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, and
But
I do remember three now as well. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they adjust
yeah,
things.
I mean,
Because
like
it,
honestly, they could keep where 2 is. They just have to just go. I feel like they need to go on the other side of where like where hole 3 pathway is where you start to shoot towards the main road.
hmm.
Well, if you go tuck back there on the left hand side after when you finish hole 1, if you go back there, there's technically a cool technical line that I saw, which I could probably do a video on, but I could see them going that way, which I might suggest it because, like I said, I'm trying to get more involved with the community. So I might actually be like, hey, I would love to try to redesign 2 for you. I think I have a cool idea for it. So
Hmm.
I might go and just kind of scope it and see if I can make a um even if it's just like a standard one that they have where it's just all three of them. But yeah, this one though, it just made it open, super nice hyzer line. I was trying to take advantage of it. I went to the massive brush and obviously my second shot was I it was a lot of, I'm telling you, very, very thin gaps. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go for it. I hit the first available tree, which then I had it open for a nice forehand shot, which luckily enough, I was able to park it under for my third shot. And then for my fourth shot, obviously, is the basket. So that's how I bogeyed hole two. Hole three, I shot out of bounds, meaning I overshot and landed on the cart path, which plays as OB. And then I try to go save par. It literally hit chains and just spit out. I had a really terrible spit out, and that was
Okay.
so. But yeah, those were my bogeys.
All right. But overall, though, other than that, a lot of birdies because you go on to birdie
A little birdie
four,
training.
yeah, 4 through 9,
Yeah,
hard
it
on
really is.
10, which 10 is that the tunnel shot, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Um. Yeah, it was a tunnel shot, but the only problem was is you played still on the you played on a red tee, so it was about maybe 80 to maybe a 90 feet up from the where the white tee is. So you kind of from that position, you kind of cut that first initial that final turn that I'm sorry, that first initial like right turn. So if you really play it, you could just do a nice flick shot, which um if you do it right, you could eagle it easily, which my card mate did do. Um, but I was actually playing with pros, which was really cool. Because I actually had the opportunity to get some insights. And I forgot his name. His last name is Phillips though, but he's actually a he actually is a pro tour um player.
Oh,
He goes on
nice.
tour. He has his touring card. Um and it was really cool. He was giving me a lot of insights and he was correcting a lot of things and he was making me feel not only very comfortable but and also inviting. It's like I was just like I didn't even know like I didn't know he was actually a pro until his dad who was there that was also playing they were talking about how they're still finishing up the year, but then he starts back in Florida, obviously, for the open for next year. And then it clicked, and I was like, oh wait, like you're talking like pro tour? He's like, yeah, he's like, I'm a tour card. And then and ironically, he has a card for obviously the card packs.
Hmm.
And Brody opened up the card pack and he actually got his rookie card
Oh, okay.
and he makes fun of him, not in a bad way, but he makes fun of him because he calls his shorts like really, really short because he likes to wear like more of the athletic shorts. And
Hmm.
so, but it was just funny because he was talking about how like he's obviously kind of known, but it was just like one of those things where I just didn't know. And I guess I don't think we really see him on coverage, which is fine. But I mean, he's still a pro. He still has his tour card. Like, obviously, he's still doing it. So it's just like I was eating up. He gave me a lot of good insight. You definitely corrected one thing that blew my mind, and that one biggest thing was, um, there's a lot of times I try to do my upshot with my Luna, and I mean, I don't know if you ever noticed, but there's been times where like it'll be like really good, and then sometimes it'd be like it'll go really far right, or it just wouldn't go the direction that I was trying to go.
Hmm.
Well, he was watching it, and then he's like, "Don't count this. Just do it one more time for me." And so, like, because obviously it's a funsy one, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it again." So I did it again, just didn't change anything. He goes, "Okay, I see what you're doing." He goes, "I want to fix something on you." He's like, when you're trying to do your upshot, you're trying to mix a upshot and a putting, like in a putter position. I was like, oh, what do you mean? And then I find out that my lower like half body is a in a putting position, but my upper body is trying to do an
Oh,
upshot,
gotcha. Mm-hmm.
and I'm doing a half putting stance, but trying to do an upshot at the same
Right.
time. And because your body is like trying to do both, it the reaction is different compared to like you have to decide like are you doing a legitimate upshot and moving your body in an actual position, or are you trying to just do a putter like a putting stance and just putting it? And there's a complete difference, and apparently I was doing it. I never knew I was doing it. And I because I just thought that I felt comfortable, and realistically I was doing all of these different movements. And the reason why it was uncontrollable and why it's inconsistent is because my body is trying to do multiple things at once. He's like, make it interesting. Like he's like, make it more, just break it down and make it easier for your body to control
Mm-hmm.
what you're trying to do. And so then I tried it the next hole where I shifted my body as if I was actually doing a drive, but it was an upshot, but obviously it was more of a touch style. And it was just dead on, like under the basket. I'm just like, okay. I was like, this is a game changer. And it was immediately, it was just clicking for me. And that's when I went on that huge birdie train
Ah, okay.
because I was just hitting my mark every single time. And, and then also he really helped me figure out, an Annie line with my Luna. Because what I was doing was I would, I would have the disc straight, like flat, but then at the end I would try to over expose it. I wasn't keeping it in an Anheuser form the entire time. I would like have it flat and then try to flip it at the end, as opposed to it. And also I didn't have my hand in front of the disc. I would have it kind of on the side still.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, there was a lot of like just minor like tweaks. He's like, I'm gonna just do minor tweaks on you. And then so he was just doing minor tweaks and it was just making sense. And I was like, this is perfect. So super amazing that I got the opportunity with him.
Oh, I bet. I mean, anytime, like I said, a lot of people when they try to mention or bring up things, it's never as a imposing way. We mean it for the best. Like when we
Yeah.
see stuff like that, it's like, hey, listen, I'm noticing something. Do you mind if I, let you know what it is? Can I fix something on you? That I noticed that you're doing that may not be right or anything like that. Because sometimes people can get a little like, oh, defensive over it, but
Yeah.
it's always for the best.
Oh yeah. I agree.
Well, yeah. So, like I said, you part out 10, 10 and then next is a birdie, par, birdie, birdie, par, birdie, par, par, par. So you cooled off a little bit, but it got, creeped up a couple more. But -9 though, that's half the holes.
I was getting tired again. This time I was late on my bag, got my chalk. I have explained that
Hmm.
multiple times in my practice thing. But yeah, I was getting a little tired. It was kind of warm. It was getting really warm at the time,
Hmm.
and I was still wearing my beanie, which probably wasn't the move. Um, but yeah, it was good. I was happy. I mean, I technically shot a couple, exactly two. I was off by two birdies compared to my um practice round, and when I finished the tee, or when I finished, there was still like 2.5 hours left for players to go through. And I was sitting at first place the entire time for the division that I was playing, which was like the MA3 version.
Hmm.
Um, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Like, I'm gonna win this. And uh, then the guy tied, and he was tied for the longest time. And then he birdied the last two, and he ended up winning, which he we would have tied if I got my practice score. So it's not too bad, but I did come
No,
in
not at
second
all.
place.
Nice.
I did walk away with $25. That was pretty cool.
Awesome. Awesome.
Oh, it's always fun, especially with funsy ones. You definitely could get a little cash. So,
Of course. Yeah, that's the thing
um,
about the Funzy tournaments is you are always, depending on what their payout structure is, usually it's
yeah,
Funzy tournaments a lot of times just a buy-in and then so many spots get
yeah,
cashed.
and
Just like a league night, basically, but
they
just that's what it is.
they did have trophies for first place. I was
Nice. That's awesome.
really hoping.
Mhm.
Definitely though, like the bigger tournaments, especially that are sanctioned, they normally have first, second, third place trophies. So, um, I'm excited for that, which obviously I'm working on already because, gosh, January is going to come so quick,
Mhm.
and I have the kickoff, Bay County kickoff out in the Panama for that huge disc golf course that I always play. And then there's another one, then the Chains Dragon Open. I think they're trying to do at the beginning of the year too. And there's like, I think there's like three or four like sanctioned tournaments right at the beginning of the year that I'm gonna be doing. So there's gonna be a lot of content coming up, guys. So please stay tuned because quote unquote your guys off season. It ain't off season down here in Florida. January and March is one of the busiest tournaments season for us.
Mhm.
Everybody's trying to beat the heat here. And then somebody talked about which I really want to try to do next year, but I need to work out for it. That same course that's out there that I love in Panama, that's like the old golf style, golf course, I'm sorry, is they do an Ironman out there, but it's like in the middle of July.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's rough.
3 rounds, which there I think it's normally just 18 holes, but I think they make it into a 21 hole.
Mhm.
So, but it's 3 rounds. And they say every single time they always have at least they have several people drop out or they have like one or two people that actually end up like going to the hospital or like getting passed out because there's no coverage there. It's just straight beaded sun. So
Right.
I definitely want to if they're having it next year. They had it this year. I didn't know about it, but I definitely want to work on it and I want to do it. So
Yeah, being though, like you said, that time of year, it's definitely exhausting. It's heat
oh
and
yeah.
everything else. So, especially there in Florida.
Yeah, you're gonna get caked. But yeah, no, it's other than that though, yeah, second place was great. I had no problems. I was happy. I was excited the whole time. Had fun. Like I said, it was very spontaneous. And
Hmm.
honestly, it felt great because you really went back down to the basics. Like, and this is what I want to express to a lot of people is you just go like there's gonna be some moments where you just need to just kind of go back to the basics and straight on consolidate your bag for just one round and
Hmm.
just focus on slower speed disc. Really, the entire time, 90% of my throws, like I said in the practice round, I was going to be like, oh, it's technically like a one disc challenge. I legitimately threw my Luna most of the time. The only time I threw my Hex was the longer shots, which even then I really didn't need to, because I could have easily done it with my Luna or even my Rebirth. Um, I don't think I actually even touched my Rebirth. No, I did use it for one flick shot. I did use it for one shot. But other than that,
Okay.
though, I used my in that 9 under, I used my Hex twice, my Rebirth once, and every throw on was with my Luna.
Nice. I mean, sometimes you find that, of course, certain courses and everything else. This is just what's working, especially when you're only playing with three disc.
Yeah.
Stick with what's working. That's what it did. So, congratulations on your second place.
Yes, I wish it was sanctioned though. That would have been kind of nice. It would have been nice to
Oh
see
yeah, of
like what my
course.
rated was on that. Even though I know it was red tees, it would have been cool to. experience it. Um, yeah, because like it was second place for MA3, MA2. I was like fifth, so I wasn't too far off. So I was like, okay, that felt really good. So I always try to like compare to like not in a bad way, but I always try to see like what my score would be if I went up
I always do that
a
too.
division just to kind of
Hmm.
like see like kind of like where my standing is, especially if it's that one is like it's the same. It's not different courses and stuff like that. So it was really cool. So but yeah, no, it was great. Like I said, it was spontaneous. Obviously, it was a funny joke, but at the same time, it's not a joke. We are not actually moving, so the background is not changing. I'm not in a different place. I know last week we talked about that. We literally were like half packed, which we were, which the office is actually completely different now. We decided to take advantage of what we had packed and move it around that we wanted to move for certain things. So now the bookshelf down here, or the bookshelf that was down in the living room, are now upstairs, and now I have all the DVDs and Blu-rays here in the office, which looks amazing. Um, but yeah, we did take advantage of that time frame and change some things. But yeah, we are not moving. We're staying in the same place. We figured it out with the landlord. Very excited, and we are staying here, which is great. The bad thing is I am in the same spot, meaning that I still have to travel to
Yep.
the courses, but I fixed my car. My car is good. It was I kind of kept it honestly. The reason why I never really liked traveling is because my car really wasn't working. I just never really
Hmm.
said anything. That was kind of the silver lining. I never said it, but now my car's officially fixed. So now traveling is going to be a little bit easier and actually a little more enjoyable. And also that morning when I actually got there, I did clock it I was just kind of curious. Without traffic, it's only 25 minutes. It's not too bad.
That's not bad. Not bad at all.
It's not bad. Now there is
Tip.
traffic. It is going to be in the 40s. But when I was going there, I clocked it just to kind of see. I was just curious. I got
Hmm.
there exactly like 25 minutes and like 43 seconds or something like that.
Hmm.
And I was going very basic speed. I wasn't going fast because at the time my car was complete crap. But now it's not. I mean, it'd probably go even faster now.
I
But
mean,
yeah,
it could just be across the street.
I mean, facts. Trust me, facts.
Um, yeah, no, which is awesome for you. Of course, as said, we I'm helping out with running the tournament on
Yeah, let's talk
this
about it.
coming Saturday. It's a sanction event, just a seat tier, of course.
It's all
The
good.
Clipper shootout, trophy only, AMs only.
Ooh, ooh.
Yep,
Player spec?
AMs trophy. There is. So Elliot Butler, he is with Lone Star still as a sponsor, and
Okay.
he actually has the Clipper Shootout logo
Okay.
printed those on disc. So you either get a choice of the Texas Ranger or a
Ooh,
Frio.
sold.
So you get one of those two disc,
Nice.
um, with that custom stamp on it, which is awesome because the fact that the stamp itself, I love having event stamps, event
Yes.
things,
Yes.
shirts,
100%.
shirts,
Yep.
disc stamps,
Yep.
just event stuff. Because then you can collect it. You can be, you can have it.
Yo, I like the
I
face
think
mounted ones.
people, yep, I think people enjoy that a lot more. I mean, that alone, it's only a 25 bucks to sign up as well. So it's super cheap.
That's a hard one though.
So,
I think I would throw the Ranger. If I got the Ranger, if that doesn't go out, I would
mhm.
definitely get there early to like get one. But I think if I got the Ranger, I would definitely bag that. I really like that mid range.
Yep, and then you also are getting, of course, Gravity Disc Golf sent over vouchers for everybody that signs up, $5 off of your order,
Perfect. And do use code. Sorry.
and use code, yep,
You're gonna write that down.
KG10.
Use KG10. KG10.
Um, no, so $5 off your orders, of
Yeah.
course, for one-time use.
Yeah.
Uh, it's definitely well over the 25 bucks that you're signing up for. You're getting your
100%.
money back or
Oh,
maybe a little bit more.
That's
Prize
great.
prize packs will consist of a Clipper themed trophy,
Nice.
a glow in the dark oversized mini,
Wow.
and a large insulated coffee cup. It will
No.
be like the trophy. Yep. So it'll be a lot of fun. Like I said, I will probably play as well, help run it. Elliot's showing me the ropes of showing me kind of more so how to adjust the signups and everything. Um,
Get
he
more
showed me
involved
all that
in this.
stuff, and then he's gonna show me like getting people logged in, or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
into the event, like, saying that they're marked that they're here and stuff like that. But he's giving me more of a breakdown and stuff. He's
Nice.
also the one that come next year. Him, myself, and John were talking about doing a small town series next year, which we'll get more into next year once we get to January and stuff. So that'll be like next year content.
Nice.
Talk about things, previews, but just a little tease of what's to come next
That's
year.
so cool.
But hopefully this Skipper event, shootout will be something that we do more once every year too. That'd be cool.
That'd be
It'll
nice.
be 2 discs. It'll be the Lions Pride DGC course, which is in Lamoille, Illinois. It's 9 holes. We're playing it twice. That's Elliot's. He designed it. He set up the
Nice.
mandos. He utilized whatever trees were at the high school. The course doesn't open till 3:30 during school years, school season, because it is on the school grounds. But they that's his. He designed it. He set up the mandos and stuff to utilize the trees to make sure you make it challenging for 9 holes
Yeah.
and the land that was used, which is awesome.
That's awesome.
And I know Rock River just also designed the Amboy course, which just was newly developed last month, maybe, I want to say. And we will be playing that as well. So we'll be playing Lamoille or Amboy, which I forget. I'm not sure which one we're starting at. And then we'll flip over to the next uh, course after. It's about 15-minute drive, but we'll get both courses in, both courses utilized. Should be a lot of fun.
That's awesome. No, that sounds great. I mean, obviously, if I was there in person, I would definitely join.
Yes, of course. At
Um,
25 bucks, it's for the end. One more tournament to squeeze in there for a sanctioned event. Why not?
yes. I definitely need some sanctioned tournaments. My my rating's a little slacking. So, but yeah, let's break it down, man. So let's transition in. No, first off, very exciting that you're getting more involved into it. I know you talked about that you want to get more into the behind the scene things and stuff like that. So that's gonna be really cool because um I am slowly dabbling into it myself. Especially when got to talk to Larry, I was like, I'd like to be more involved. So I might get more into like my first, I guess, bite of the apple is he pitched to me would I be interested in running a Saturday morning league.
If you need any
And
help, let me know.
yeah. And so, but he's like, obviously we'll help you out with the CTPs and all that. But he goes, if you're interested in that, we're looking for somebody that's willing to kind of run it. So I might bite into the apple like that first and try to run those for a little bit. And then
Hmm.
if I like it, then I'll slowly dip my toe into the tournament directing positions, but as of right now, I just I just love doing the tournament. Showing up, everything's done,
Hmm.
enjoying
You don't have
it,
to worry about anything.
enjoying the stuff,
Yeah, it's not.
watching you do it. Like
It's
I like watching you doing the whole walnut thing and me just doing my content creating. You're just
yeah,
standing up
no.
there. I'm just like, what's it?
Yep, yep. Yeah, no, the running things, the running league is actually I was super nervous about it at first too, but it's really easy. Everybody's down
Yeah.
to earth. It's honestly it's no stress to it.
And
Not
then
as stressful as you think it is. Like at first I was really nervous about like, oh, what should I do for payouts? What should I do? Like how much is this? How much is that? Everything's like, oh no, but it's actually not that bad, especially once you figure it out. It's a breeze. I'm going on my third year, third 2.5 years of running mine. So
Yeah,
it's a lot of fun.
it seems self-explanatory. I mean, like
Mm,
they like to do so every league is just like dubs. I mean, unless there's like, four people that show up, then there's like, we'll just do singles on like whites
hmm
or something and call it a day. Um, but they like to change it up a little bit, the same way. Like they normally
hmm
do like whites tees standard style, or they'll do like, reds only, but you have to do like drivers only for fun. Or like
hmm
sometimes they will do the blue tees. They try to do at least blue tees at least like once a month. Just
Yeah,
because.
of course.
Um
It's a cool to play on just to kind of see how you
yeah.
can stack up
And
on.
and I talked to one of the players that like were there. I was like, out of curiosity, like how intense is it? Because I've been to some like leagues that
Hmm
have been they're like super intense, like especially for like random doubles. I've gotten some partners that were like they would get really mad at me, kind of, or they weren't fun to play with. And then I've had some that were just like super chill, and they're just like, "Yo, we're just here to have fun." And
And that's what league should be. It's right
and
there, what you
yeah,
just
because
said.
like we kind of talked about this. I don't want to like because it's yours. You guys are still kind of going into it, and I don't know how much light you want to shed onto it yet. But
Oh yeah.
I yeah,
No,
um,
yeah.
I'm not
They'll
bringing
be in the
anything up.
future. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a little tease, but yeah, but I do like things that are more, you know, more inviting, more welcoming, like more inclusive to people. Um, inclusive, whatever you want to call that. Um, and yeah, they say that the blues though, they're like, yeah, like obviously, you know, there's gonna be times where you might get people that can't do it, and that's fine. And then like there's other times you might get the person that throws the furthest and you're okay with it. And then you just kind of
Mhm.
go with what you want to go with. So it's really cool though.
There's it's a lot of fun. And like you
Yeah.
said, it is chill. Like our Walnut League, Friday night leagues. I haven't played Wednesday and Monday. I'm sure it's chill and cool too. But the community here is obviously awesome. Everybody's really chill. Nobody cares. You could be
Yeah.
partnered up with anybody. Nobody cares. Like
Yeah.
we're just out there to play, have fun every time, and it is. It's a great time. It's a lot of fun.
Cool. And I,
I
I absolutely love it.
I would like to. I need it next year. I think that's something else I would like to do is get more content. I need to start recording more of not
Behind
the
the scenes.
whole round, but just shots here and there, like every
I-
couple holes, film like a putt, film like a drive, you know what I mean?
well,
Just get here and there.
I don't think anybody's really doing that where they're showing behind the scenes of how what a tournament director really goes through. I don't think anybody really knows. And there's a lot of people that I don't think truly appreciate what a tournament director actually goes through. Like I've seen it like in certain ways, but like I've never really experienced it. Obviously, I've
Mhm,
seen you guys like hyper focus on like Wallen Open. Like I got a perspective of you because obviously you're right there, but then also like I've seen the perspective of like Maverick where he's like, I have to literally hand do all of these trophies and like do all this stuff and like help you guys out with those things and like but whoever else was a part of it like like just hearing it and observing of like what I saw like there's a lot to it for like
mhm.
wall and open and stuff like that. So it's just I think that'd be a cool perspective that I don't think it was really being shown. That I think it would be a cool to have a light on it. But yeah, but that's a good transition though on content creating and just what we're doing in the social world. I know we kind of like I said, we took a break and now we're back, really back. I think both of us have posted some things on our YouTube page to kind of get it back into the algorithm, which has been great. I didn't say what I was going to do. It's just for me, it's difficult when I get into tournament mode. It's very difficult for me to like really take my phone out or like a camera and like start filming something. I just I get into tournament mode and it's very difficult for me to like really create content. So I did not get anything during the tournament, but I did do the practice round. So
Which is
uh,
fine.
with that being said, I'll let you go first. Because I feel like I've been talking quite a bit. Um, what is some things that we're kind of looking up for? Like, what is your plans for ending 2024, and maybe some potential light on some newer content you might be trying to do? Like, definitely, you don't have to spill it all out, but definitely we would like to know, like, what is kind of focusing on? Like, is there any gear you're kind of focusing on trying to upgrade
Yes.
behind the scenes and stuff? Like, is there any stories you're trying to hit? Like, what is going on with potential future content ending 2024 and going into 2025?
No idea. No,
I have
some
concepts
stuff.
of a plan.
Yeah, concepts of plan will all work out. Who knows? That's a whole different story. But I have thoughts. Everybody has thoughts. It's just a matter of getting it done, doing it, and everything else. That's the issue. Especially because December comes around. It is busy season for us at the post office because package delivering skyrockets and it takes up and consumes a lot of your time. And we live in Illinois, so who knows how cold it's gonna be, if it's gonna
You're the
snow, be
you're the
warm.
resident.
Yep, yep. So um as of right now, there was one day I went out and played a round of golf, disc golf, and I decided to just throw my phone on the ground, record my shots as I played, and I'm posting them hole by hole. So
Yeah.
every day I have a new video. It's all scheduled already. I don't have to do anything except for Instagram. They don't have like scheduled posts, which is kind of annoying. You can have them drafts.
Yeah.
So I just remind myself, oh, it's five something. I need to post this.
No, I
Boom.
yes.
So I have them all in drafts, but like Instagram right now, if you go to my Instagram, KG underscore disc golf, um, you will see that KG underscore disc golf or KG underscore disc underscore golf is what it is. You will see though I've been posting a whole day.
Mm,
Um, that's been fun just to kind of see interactions through there. My TikTok that I've been doing that one's behind a little bit because I always forget about TikTok, to be honest. I don't watch a lot of TikTok. I watch more so Instagram reels and everything else.
yeah, understandable.
TikTok's on my phone and I don't do a whole lot with it. I'm like, oh, what am I doing? There's a TikTok too. So I'm starting to post it on there as well, which I'm actually getting I'm getting more view, not a lot of views, but definitely more views than the Instagram ones.
Yeah.
Um, which is cool to see, because you could see it slowly flowing out there.
Oh
I don't
yeah.
know why on Instagram, I don't know why some of them get tossed out there more than others, but
It's by engagement. So I go
yeah.
through a whole class on it. So pretty much what happens is when you post something, depending on how much engagement you get in the first few minutes, depending on
It'll
that,
push.
it'll push it more. So
Hmm.
for example, like my random hurricane one on TikTok, it got pushed very quickly the first hour. It just kept pushing and pushing, and it just kind of did a weird, like, quick viral effect. And then it was just viral for about 4 or 5 hours, and then it just died, which is fine. But like it
Hmm.
still jumped up to almost 60K. So it was just like, it's just one of those things. It's just it goes by engagement. So
Yeah, which is awesome that it hit about 60K.
yeah,
So
no, I'm not complaining about that. Don't
no,
worry.
no,
I'm not
that's
complaining.
awesome. That's
But
amazing.
it was, yeah, it just,
But now you think like I need to do that again with something. There's something
well,
I can do.
I was curious on, like, is it so my I was doing it for mainly for my clients' sakes of like showing them kind of like an actual authentic result. And so
Hmm.
because obviously I do this for a living, so I was curious on, is it true if you post something that's relevant or trending at that certain time, and it's like the kind of the mentality of first post market, where it's like there wasn't really anybody talking about the hurricane at the time, so I was in the front line before anybody else really posted anything. So I was kind of in the front of it all, and I use a trending audio. and so it pushed faster than normal on my normal ones. And so I was just proving a point on if you're in front of a trend and if you post properly on like when something is trending, it could spiral quickly into a viral effect as opposed to like a just a normal organic post that has no relevance of like what's happening. Obviously, when you gain followers and you gain a community, you're able to post whatever you want, and it will just gain follows and likes and shares and comments and favorites because it's just somebody that you know. So you mean like you think of anybody right now that's one of the top social media people out there or influencers, we'll use that word, top influencers. Doesn't matter what they post, they're going to get likes and follows and shares because that's just who they are. They're now
Mm-hmm.
considered an IP, they're a person of interest. And so or like us, like we have a following somewhat, but definitely we still need to jump on that algorithm train and making sure that you're really kind of following like what is being trending at this certain time. So for us, even though it's just disc golf content, obviously disc golf is not trending as much, but we could use trending audio
Which
to
I've been trying.
which will push it a little bit more than normal, which is
Mm-hmm.
still good. So
Yeah.
definitely, that's one way of doing it. That's a little free inside scoop of social media, everybody. So definitely take notes on that. If you want to learn more, definitely you could take my courses.
Down description down link.
I mean, like seriously, like
Um,
I literally just went through a huge course design for people a couple weeks ago. So I
yeah.
taught like 30 people on it. So
Um, so with that, like I said, doing a whole day just to have content rolling out on my Instagram and on my TikTok, just so there's something out there.
oh yeah,
Just because it keeps the engagement. I'm not over posting, it's just a post a day.
oh yeah,
Um,
which you should do that.
yep, a post a day. And then I found reels get more reach, so they're all in reel form. They and then I also potentially will be hopefully soon, not sure when. Um, it depends on if my wife decides to go to Batavia or not this weekend, or I wait till Thanksgiving. I'm hoping the sooner, of course, potentially have access to an upgrade. So all my content right now being filmed right here, phone. Because as they say, I've been doing a lot of research lately. A lot of those cameras, the beginner cameras, vlog cameras, like which is that, the Sony FV10s? I think it's the FV10s or something like
Yeah,
that.
the EV10s. Yeah,
EV10s and stuff like that. They're in that mid-range price
yeah, yeah,
of under $1,000. You essentially can get the same thing out of these,
yeah. Essentially, yeah.
essentially. And then there's the next tier on where, okay, this is when you can start talking about maybe getting something.
Mhm.
Well, I might be getting my hands on upgrading from this to using more of a actual camera to
Nice.
film my content. And you can tell the difference because if you go to my YouTube, watch my video that I just posted about trying to ace or get a couple aces,
Yeah,
you could tell the quality difference from, even though mine was 4K, 60, 30 frames, you could still there's always something just a little bit edge that will come from an actual camera. The reason why I'm not using this is an old Rebel T3i. It gets it 720p. It tries to output, it's an old
yeah.
school
No, I
camera.
get it.
It's an old school. It could still shoot images. Don't get me wrong. Some good pictures. I got a couple that I posted on Instagram. I'm upgrading, moving on to the
Nice.
Fuji camera.
Oh yes, Fiji
potentially.
Fuji.
So I
That's a
will,
really good option.
and so it's the Fuji. I had two choices, either the Fuji X-T3
Okay.
or the XH1, which XH1 sounds really good because it has the in-body stabilizer.
Mm,
So for
so
vlogging the stuff,
yep.
it's fantastic. But there's a lot more you can get out of the XT3.
Yeah. I mean, yes.
So
You would. The only problem is though, it would have to live on a tripod
tripod, or
if you're
you
wanting
hope
that.
to get yep, or get a lens that has stabilization, but you still will have to rely more on doing post edits of stabilization.
Yes, if it has
Where
a, but you have to definitely make sure
you
it's
have
like
to make sure it has the
like a.
right lenses for it. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, no, there's a lot of like the whole variables stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, like
Hmm.
in a way, yes, mine it was shot, which was if anybody wants to know, I need to start actually giving you guys like a description of all the gear that I'm using, and also Kyle should be doing this too, so that so people know what we're using. Um, that specific practice round was shot on the Canon EOS R6. So a little bit more of a pricier camera, obviously. It was shot in 4K. I did not color grade or do any basic color grading or color corrections or nothing. That was all in camera. Because like it was funny because Sarah was watching. She just goes, "Wow, like this color is beautiful." I'm like, "That's the camera." She's like, "That's the camera." I was like,
Hmm.
I mean, like obviously, I many years of doing this, I know what to do, but like there's some shots still that are a little overexposed, and
Hmm.
I did not. The thing is, though, I want to tell people I did not shoot on auto. Now I shot on autofocus, obviously, because like if you saw like my
Right.
one of my
Hmm.
last shots, it like autofocused on the branch, the trunk of the tree as opposed to me, or there was one
Hmm.
shot where I was out of focus and then finally like refocus. I shot on autofocus because of just the tracking, because the EOS series and the Canon actually has really good eye tracking, but
Yeah.
obviously
So
you have to
the
look at the camera though. Like if you're
XT3 has that same thing, but as soon
yeah,
as you turn, for anybody that loves autofocusing, it is very useful and really good. As soon as you turn your head,
yes.
it's gonna
It,
struggle for a moment.
it doesn't know where to go.
Yeah.
So
Hmm.
now the R6 does really well with kind of staying in that general facility. So technically, what you could do is you have two options. You could do eye tracking, or you could do like a box tracking. And the box
Yep.
tracking is allows you to actually like focus on your body, which that's when I would use that, for, especially when I was turning. Um, so um that was on auto because of that, but I'm talking about like actual the lighting, like the
Exposure
shutter
and
and
everything else.
ISO
Hmm.
and all of that. That was actually I was doing that manually. It was
Hmm.
not on auto balance at all for the exposure, nothing. Um, I mean, if people want to go down to the nitty gritty of like what I was shooting or like in what like I said, I have a film background. So I shoot what's called Kelvins. So it's like a custom Kelvin. So I control the color tone of the shot. So when you're shooting in Kelvin, you could shoot it where like you could make it more blue, like cool tones. So like you're
Hmm.
pulling more cooler lighting, or you could go more warm tone or warmer lighting depending on what you're shooting. So obviously, like in
Yep.
the woods, I would shoot a little more warm because I want to really pull those greens because I really want to show that, like, obviously I'm in Florida. We don't
Hmm.
get color change here. We don't. We get our pine needles turn brown.
Where
That's
I'm,
fall.
where if I can get this camera before it snows, hopefully this
Yeah.
weekend, I'll
Yeah.
go out to the course and there's going to be nothing but yellow and orange and
Yes.
brown
You're gonna
leaves
get all
all over
those
the
colors.
ground,
For
all the
me though,
saturation.
and then also I did shoot a little bit later. So I was actually getting some good golden out. I was getting
Yeah,
some,
you're
I don't
getting
know if you
golden
noticed
hour.
that, but I was getting some
Hmm.
good like sun
Yep, golden
flares
hour.
and some more like light
For
stuff.
golden hour, which I just honestly learned this year too, is obviously that sunset time, that
Sunset, yeah.
perfect, yeah,
Yep.
sunset time is that's golden hour. For anybody
Very
that doesn't know,
famous for like shooting like family portraits and like a lot
hmm,
of weddings. They're very,
lighting, it's just it's
it just,
natural lighting that's
mhm.
perfect.
So yeah, so no. I like I said though, I was shooting a little bit more advanced onto it. If anybody wants to know what I was actually using for mics, I absolutely love the Rode Wireless Go mics. They're the Pro 2. Wow. The Pro 2, so like the second generations of the wireless
Hmm.
Go mics. I personally like them. Only issue is you have to be careful with them is I don't know why, but the frequency, you should not put it on what's called the hot shoe, which is actually on the top of the camera. If you put it on the top of the camera for some reason, especially on my Sony, the frequency of the, I don't know why, but the frequency of the transmitter that you put on the camera, because obviously it's a wireless microphone, it actually interferes because there's power running on the hot shoe. So when you're trying to like just put it on there to just set it on top, sometimes you'll get more like a crackling sound on your microphone, or it'll
Mm.
actually distort the audio. Same goes with like any of the Canon ones. So when I actually obviously that camera that I was using is Sarah's, because I normally shoot on Sony's, but Sarah obviously is a photographer. She actually had the her neck strap still on it.
Hmm.
So I actually, on the side, when I plugged it into the microphone port, I actually clipped the transmitter on the actual um strap
Sure.
away
Hmm.
from the camera, because technically the transmitter should be away from the body of the camera as much as possible, because there can be some interference. So if you are using a camcorder, or like not camcorder, but like if you're just using an actual camera like a DSLR or anything like that, I would stay away from putting the transmitter on the actual camera, and try to get it away from the camera as much as possible that you can, so there won't be any interference with the wireless connection, especially if you're using wireless microphones.
Right.
um but the
Which
best thing
is, oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, but the best thing about those is because the transmitter is in the camera, it's replacing the camera audio with the actual microphone. And so you don't have to do any editing when you get into post. So you're reducing a lot of time, because as opposed to when we were doing it at the very beginning, when I would bring my microphones, they're
Hmm.
outbound mics. So when we would go into post, I would have to get the outbound audio, sync it with the camera audio, and then replace that audio, which was a whole nother step, which would make the editing longer. But now you could just have it on the camera and just
Yeah,
do whatever you want to do, which is
which is perfect.
great.
Yeah. Which, like I said, upgrading that to the Fuji. I think I said I'm gonna go with the XT 3. I've been watching so many videos this
Yeah,
last like week. I
trust
just
me, I get it.
non-stop watching, and just you just get a little bit more out of it.
Oh
Like
yeah,
I said, the biggest deal issue is the stabilization, but what I do with filming for disc golf content,
yeah,
snapshots. I love the look of Fuji pictures too. I've noticed like they were all these reviews I'm watching, like Fuji colors, they
it's good.
really good, really good. Yep, Fuji
Yeah,
film colors are really good. Really
no, it's
like the
good.
aesthetic of it.
I know a lot of filmmakers that are still Fiji. Definitely. Yeah, I have nothing against to it. I've shot, I think I've shot honestly every single brand out there that you can
Hmm.
shoot, and like there's pros and cons of every single thing.
Oh, of
At the end of the
course.
day, it's preference, and it's what you shoot the most. Reason why
Yep.
I'm in the Sony family for definitely for filmmaking is because if anybody knows, it's because of the low lighting. It's mainly for that.
Hmm.
Obviously have a wedding background, so when you get into the reception, stuff like that,
Hmm.
most of the time when they hit the venue or banquet center or wherever they're doing their reception,
You're
it's a lot of the times they have it very dimmed, and so it's very dark. I
yep.
could boost the ISO up and I won't be grainy, and that's the whole point, is like I'm making
You're
sure for that.
you're fighting with the low light,
Yeah.
and on top of the low light, you're fighting against the random strobing lights
Yeah.
or LED lights that are here and there that are way bright. So you're fighting that
Oh
in
yeah,
between thing
it's
between them
awful.
dim and Sony. I know is really good with the low light thing. That I know
Yeah.
like Fuji's not the greatest with that part of it, but
No,
that's not what I'm doing it for.
honestly, the sisterhood of Fuji, like it's very, Canon esque. It's very
Yeah.
close to
But
a
it does
Canon.
do really good in low light in the same time for like photography.
Yeah. Oh
Fantastic
yeah.
in low light.
Oh yeah.
Like I would,
And
I'd say,
I like it though because it kind of has more of that softer tone to it. Which I mean,
mhm,
once again, guys, I know this is a disc golf podcast, but this is what happens when you talk to somebody that's a filmmaker. You're gonna get a lot of insight on like behind the scenes stuff. So I apologize, but I'm gonna go on this rant real fast. Fiji film definitely has that more film feel, which is more of that
yep.
softer, like natural softness, which to me, I'm a sucker for. I don't like when a shot is too crispy, like very high definition look. Like there's a lot of like not recently it's been kind of toning down a little bit, but there's been some like movies, especially like those I don't want to use the independent films, but like the Amazon Prime like TV shows or Amazon Prime like movies or like Hulu movies or even some Netflix
Mhm.
movies. It's so crisp,
Oh,
so
it's
high def
extremely
where like
crisp.
it
It's
almost hurts like watching it because it's
dude.
like it's a little too
If
crisp.
you want to know exactly what we're talking about, watch any brand new Hallmark Christmas
That's
movies.
what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like it almost looks too fake.
It looks extremely fake.
But I just something about film where like if you just
Hmm.
kind of had that more I don't want to use the word anamorphic because it definitely it is kind of more the anamorphic more soft feel but like just that natural softness on an image for me it just lights me up like I absolutely
Hmm.
love it and kind of going full circle on this Fuji definitely hits that where it's more of that film look, especially with their photos. It's definitely more of that softer, like it's almost like a
Hmm.
digital film. And
Yeah.
that's what I really like about it.
Which is why I'm super, super excited about testing it out,
Yeah.
bringing it in here. And this is what's leading me to the content that I do kind of want to lean in towards this coming off season and into next year. Not only am I, because I'm completely amateur on all this, right? Content creation, camera stuff, filming. I just started this year with the editing thing. I'm still learning. I feel like I'm picking it up pretty well.
You are.
Um,
I will say that.
but I still don't have the exact eye for everything I'm looking at, of course,
Mhm.
but it's all a learning process. First year of doing it. But I want so for my content with disc golf in it, I kind of am leaning towards making a very vlog style series or take on my journey through the content creation with the disc golf being a part of it. So my journey of learning to use an actual camera
Mhm.
for vlogging, for B-rolling, for snapshots on the course and mixing it all together into one like 15-minute YouTube video of me playing, then you're going to see some snapshots of, pictures just of the basket or the disc in the leaves or, anything like that here and there as I talk vlog style at the same time and have moments of me shooting. And then, you know what I mean? Just, of course, I'm going to still have my typical shots of let me try to ace hole 11 again. You know what I mean? Let's see if I can beat my record. So we're still going to get content like that, of course, like that, but
Mhm.
it's also going to have videos throughout there, my process and journey of learning to use a camera, like an actual, an official camera, not just a simple phone that you just hit record, jump on the computer really quick. Let's add some zoom. Let's, do this and that and call it a day.
Oh yeah. No, that's gonna be really fun to watch. I'm excited, which obviously
And
you ask me as much
but
questions.
the benefit that I do have is as I'm learning through my journey, thankfully, I have a videographer and a photographer in the family right here, both on the podcast. So I can get a lot of help.
Yes.
They've already helped me out a bunch, which I appreciate, of course. And I'm actually super excited to learn, like I said, just
Mhm.
using this camera. Think of the content too. If I could figure out and learn throughout this for this next year, come next summer, you guys come out, the content we can create using my camera, your camera, different things. You know what I mean? Like family vacations and stuff like that. Just
Yeah.
different things we could really stylize and do,
Oh
and
yeah.
bigger projects we could do, and those vacation spots that it's like, oh, people can look forward to for that series every once a year.
Yeah. Color profile will be a little bit
Of
difficult.
course, of
So we
course,
will have to
of
match a little
course.
bit,
Mm-hmm.
which is not an issue. That's when I'll kind of come in where I'll be able to grade
Yeah,
it.
because color profiles are it's like between Sony,
Yeah, yeah. Like
Fuji. Okay, they all have their own.
Sony shoots more cool tones, Canon's
Mm-hmm.
more warm tone. Like, there's it's pretty difficult, especially with like that's the issue that I have is like my Sony, it's very much of that like natural softness, but then like the R6 could be very crisp, where like
Mm-hmm.
it that's what makes it very difficult for me. And then of course the color profiling. But yeah, no, we could easily do that, which won't be an issue. That sounds amazing. I absolutely love that. um I think I missed out on that because I went through school. I went to a film school, so like
Mm-hmm.
I like learned as I went. So pretty much my take of watching my stuff was literally my final projects from freshman year to senior year, like seeing the growth. So like that was, I guess, my way of like seeing my growth. I guess I never really vlogged it, or I never really like showed
Yeah.
things like
Mm-hmm.
behind the scenes stuff. So that's going to be really cool to experience. And I'm definitely excited to watch that when it comes out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm excited to do it. Like I said, it's I'm just glad to, like I said, watching content on YouTube. You can always like I've noticed it.
Oh yeah.
You could really see the difference between a camera filming something and the iPhone or Samsung or whatever people are using.
Oh
Like I
yeah.
said, output's still good. Don't get me wrong. You could still make content and make a living off of this. Just this alone. I
My
just really personally like the camera aesthetic, the look.
yeah.
Just
Oh, especially like yeah, it was a pain to like haul around, but once I was editing it, I was like, man, this is
worth
so
it.
so worth it. It's better because
Uh-huh.
I don't know why, but I think my phone is just outdated because I'm still rocking a 12 Pro for my
Hmm.
iPhone. Um I don't know why, but recently it's been like really overexposing my shots, or it's getting very like I don't know, it's really pulling overexposure on certain shots, and I don't know why. And it just makes it very, it just has that like look to it. I don't know. It's just hard to explain. It just looks like a phone, I guess that's what
Hmm.
I'm trying to say. So I definitely am trying to utilize my content, which I don't, like I said, um my personal camera is for me behind the camera. I can't shoot with me in front of the camera because I don't have any lenses, because all my lenses that I have are cinema cameras or cinema lenses. So meaning like I have to focus like I have to manually focus on all my lenses. There's no autofocus on them. So
Hmm.
I have to do manual pulls on the focus. Um so I can't, unless I like don't move in one spot, I physically can't do it on my camera. So I use Sarah's because her camera not only has has the autofocus capabilities, but the screen actually flips backwards. I don't have to put a huge monitor or anything like that. It's more vlog friendly. And
Hmm.
so I was just like, yo, like I understand that you need to use it for photography, but I would love to use it for content creating myself. So I use it for a lot of like, I've used it for my unboxings. I've used it for, stuff like that. But when I actually used it on the field this time, I was like, man, this is
That's
crisp.
so that
This
is
is
a
good.
one that is a one minus of this camera too, is they don't have the full flip of the
Mhm.
screen, so I will have to look at what I'm doing first and then go in front. But I do that already pretty much with my iPhone as it is.
You
Because
might have some focus issues. So
mm,
you may want to, even if it's just like a quick like You want to maybe have something in a spot.
You use your yeah. The what I was watching the
Yeah.
things. They said if you are using it for fog, just toss your hand out in front of it
Yeah.
for a while, get that focus in, and then you get that idea. There it is.
100%. That's
So
you definitely want to use something. That's the only thing I ask. But yeah, that or you just buy a monitor and you could just have it flipped over and then you're good, which that's a whole nother topic.
yep. I mean, it's just the start of it, of course.
100%.
It'll have to grow and everything else. And the more I grow, the more I enjoy it, the more I'll start doing stuff.
Uh,
But yeah, and you said you have a little series. That's kind of a little hint towards what I'll be trying to trend towards. And you mentioned you have a series idea.
yes, I want to drop a series. I definitely want to start the introduction before the end of the year, but I think it's going to be heavily driven for the beginning of the year.
Hmm.
I might shoot some. That's the thing, though. I might shoot some this like the ending of this year, but I may not release it until the beginning of the year because I want to kind of use it as more of like new year stuff.
Hmm.
But it's going to be a series. So meaning like it is. It's going to be a like I don't know how many part series it is because I have to lay out exactly what it's going to entail. But I what I will be doing is in the hour radius of where I'm at, I will be going to every single course in my area, and which there's a lot of them, but I will be going to every single one of them, and I am going to rate them for different categories on because obviously this is the Weekend Warrior Disc Golf podcast, and
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
mainly specifically for amateurs. So I want to rate courses on the factor of playability, like is it easy for first time goers? Is it beginner friendly? Do they give beginner option friendly stuff, or do they give you a little bit of a challenge? The actual like course design, like is it a decent course? Like does it give you a technical shot? Is it just dog leg lefts the entire time? Is it just a hyzer fest? Like it does it like what is it? Definitely hitting up different more criterias on certain things, which I will have a layout of exactly what it is. But what I'm going to do is each episode is going to be a course highlighting at least one course in my area and going through all of the categories that I have for it and just kind of breaking down of it. And what we'll do is you will watch me play around, and after it, we will sit down and go through back in the studio the credentials of where it lands and stuff like that. And then what we'll do is we'll make an actual huge list of what I think is the best course and all the way down to the worst course around me that I feel is good for whatever the criteria it is. So
Yeah.
we're really getting through the breakdown and stuff like that. And really I came up with this idea due to the factor of really hearing the story about Change Dragon on creating the Reds tee for beginner friendly and definitely really playing it for the first time this weekend. It really like I don't know how to explain it. Like it made me really I guess not like be inspired, but
Kind of inspired, kind of
yeah,
excited, a new
I
like a
really
joy,
started to
like a
appreciate.
jolt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really appreciated like the course design of it. Of like if was my first time ever playing disc golf, and you gave me that opportunity to play the red tees, like it made me almost re-fall in love with disc golf. Does that make sense? Like I don't know how to
No,
explain
it does.
like and not just because I did well or I did a great job or whatever, but I really got back into it. Like I was like, damn, like I really miss disc golf. And like it just really was just like the first time I ever played with you guys. I only had 3 discs. You guys gave me 3 discs to play. And I just I had to play with what was given to me. I had no idea what those discs did, and I'm definitely some of them were way out of my arm speed at the time because obviously I just started, but I had a freaking good time. And like during this tournament, I had a really good time. And but these were discs I knew what I could do with, and just only having three of them and just just really focusing on my touch shots and stuff like that, like I really just got back into it, and I was like, man, I want to create a series on around here. And like obviously I want to do at least an hour. There's gonna be some courses that are probably a little bit past the hour mark because
Hmm.
technically like the Majest one in Panama is technically like an hour and 15. I definitely want to at least rate that because I don't think I've done a practice round one there. I've done a tournament highlight of that place, but I don't think I've actually done a practice one.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's going to be a series. Like I said, I'm going to do an introduction video showing all the ones that I'll be going to, and then do like a breakdown. And there's going to be different, like I said, different categories that I'm going to be hitting, and there's going to be an overall score, and then you'll see like right here, like from the top all the way down to the bottom. I don't, like I said, I don't know how many courses. I got to figure it out because there's some that are like restricted where you have to like call the person to like get a hold of. I gotta also make sure there's some that are on military base, so I don't know if I could go on those or not.
All right.
So I gotta like because I'm very close to a lot of military.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because I think like the one that like where nobody knows who this is, but where Austin is not Austin Peyton, Austin, I don't know, whoever the youngest one is. Who's the youngest one in Larry's family?
Austin.
The one his base that he's here has a disc golf course.
Okay.
Um, but I don't think I could go on it technically because I'm not military.
You're
Which is,
right, right.
but um, the ones that I can do, and I think there's one that's like a pay to play, which I'm gonna be doing that one too because I'm gonna be. Is it worth the money? Is it worth it? Worth going to?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm gonna be doing all of them. So, yeah, and I'm very excited because I already know that there's some that I'm just like, there's some I know are going to not do well in the ratings, and there's some I think are going to be great. I'm not going to be biased, obviously. So especially when I get to a Chain Dragon, I'm going to personally make sure to rate it right. And there's a lot of them though I haven't even touched. So a lot of them are going to be going in blind, and I'm going to love it or I'm going to hate it. So, but yeah, it's going to be a really cool series. Like I said, I definitely look out in the next couple weeks or so for the introduction video. So it's going to be kind of the breakdown of like the rules, what I'm going to be doing, how I'm going to set it up. There's not going to be any play, obviously, of on that introduction. It's just going to be a quick, like 2-3 minute of me going through the entire breakdown of it and the list. I want to do a tour list. So obviously that's how you guys know like each day when it's going to happen. And then what I'm going to be doing is um on that certain date, obviously I'll update the actual scheduled time of when everything's going to be landing, but when you are, make sure you are subbed to my YouTube channel because what I'll do is on that day, because I tested it and I really enjoyed it, but I'm gonna create what's called a premiere, so where it'll be premiered at the certain time where you could actually watch it live with people. So you can be able to comment and be able to just view it and watch it and just kind of talk about it as it's going. And so it's gonna be a cool little nice series. And if this series does well, I might do another one. Just for the sake of it. Or I'll come up with another idea of a different series that I will do. But as of right now, though, that's my planned for the new year content, and I'm going to be really focused on that. And I think it's going to be fun and it's going to be really enjoyable. But also, like I said, the whole point of it is really showing the community around here, showing like what's evolved for this area. Truly appreciate what I have down here, even though it's very small. I definitely want to show the appreciation of it. And then also, like I said, go back to the basics. Like, is it user friendly? Is it beginner friendly? Like that's the main focus is can a beginner play this course? Or
Right.
can an amateur play this course? Is it focused on only a certain type of player? So yeah, that's what's kind of happening.
Yeah. It's exciting times for both of us. Like I said, give it a little bit, but we have some series coming, of course, if you want to. As I said, I'm posting a whole day of our local course on my Instagram and TikTok, KG Disc Golf. That's where you can basically find any of my stuff, KG Disc Golf. So,
And mine's Tie Guy Disc Golf.
yep.
Um,
Links, of
Instagram.
course, always in the.
I don't have a TikTok on it. I just Instagram though for it. But other than that, that wraps up pretty much this episode. Next week, we're definitely going to be hitting on the topic of Kyle's tournament. Go through his layout of that, making sure we'll go through the rundown of behind the scenes of him planning it out, doing it, seeing if he likes it still behind the scenes for the tournament director position, and then also him potentially playing if he does play. Hopefully he will have some cool stuff to show us. I'm very excited to see the disc.
Hopefully, I have a trophy.
Hope you have a trophy, but mainly I'm interested to see the disc. I'm
Yeah, I
excited.
already have pictures of the disc, but I'm gonna wait
Don't show
for a
me.
tease. I'm not showing you anything
Mhm.
until our podcast, and I have it right here.
Yes, and
So,
then maybe Ronnie might be back, depending. There's been just a lot of we have a lot of projects to do. So,
yeah,
but
yeah.
other than that, guys, thank you so much, and hopefully you guys have a great weekend coming up. Play some disc golf, get out there, have fun. If it's colder, I apologize. We're all in the off season, so uh, make sure you get out those glow discs because daylight savings happen. So
Oh,
it's now dark at 4:30.
5 o'clock. It's yeah, it's insane.
Well,
So,
for us, it's like 4:30. So,
yeah.
but yeah, it's other than that, guys. Hope you guys have a great time, and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you.